Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Tuesday.
Good morning to you. It is Tuesday the 24th of September. This is Kay Adams with you till 12. More alleged victims of former Harrods boss Mohammed Al Fayed have come forward following initial claims of multiple rapes. This was Cheska speaking to Sky News.
I worked there 30 years ago, and there have been numerous occasions where myself and other women have tried to speak up and we've been shut down.
Well, Harrods now says it's carrying out a review to determine if current staff were involved in allegations in any way. But why do we, either as victims or as colleagues, find it so difficult to call out abusive behaviour in real time? And what more do employers have to do to stop it happening? 08085 92 95 00 is the number to call. Also coming up, Coronation Street Sue Cleaver, a.k.a. Eileen Grimshaw, on why now is her time.
I've always been about
9500. You can also leave a voice note on that, or indeed a WhatsApp message, or you can text us on 80295. So many ways to get in touch. And
rappers get so quiet when I'm coming that if they shit in a dictionary, you couldn't get a word from them. It's sort of a tradition in Bed-Stuy to do or die. So step into me, it's suicide. I couldn't think of a rapper taking mine. I feel like Ali, I'm the greatest of all times. Floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. Yeah, I know this ain't boxing, but that's still my pedigree. But as for you, you have no appeal. How you get a record deal?
Well, with pop star Chappell Rowan taking on toxic fans and revealing a depression diagnosis, what is the cost of fame?
You are listening to Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
Broadcasting across the United Kingdom and the world.
Well, before we go any further, it's time for our famous Name the Place quiz. You are looking for one place in Scotland. Professor Carol Huff has got in touch once again with her 6 dastardly clues that are in front of me. I don't know why I look at them as if I've got any idea whether or not they're easy or otherwise. Anyway, I've got 6, I'm sure, dastardly clues in front of them. Not the last one. We've got an easy peasy clue number 6, which again is an anagram. So if you're struggling, then wait till 11:30 and you can get the easy peasy clue. When somebody does work it out, we get correct answer. We hear this. Is the clever klaxon, but everyone is running their own race. I'll get through all the clues before 12 o'clock when Professor Carol Huff pops up to do the big reveal, so hopefully you'll manage to work it out at some point. Here is clue number 1. Today's place name has much in common with Dunoon and Jedburgh.
Boom, boom, aka boom, 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 aka boom, 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 aka boom, 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 aka
on, peeps, get a wriggle on with Name the Place. First clue this morning is today's place name has much in common with Dunoon and Jedburgh. Let me have a wee check in and see if we've got any. Yes, Julie in Letham. Julie, you know, you're good. You're so quick. You are now the first answer that I'm expecting every single week. Unfortunately, it's wrong, but you do get points for good attendance. It is not Dunfermline, so everyone else can strike that off your list. It's not Dunfermline, but we're off and running with Name the Place. I've got the first clue. Today's place name has much in common with Dunoon and Jedburgh, and I've got another 5 to give you, including the easy peasy clue round about 11:30. Professor Carol Huff popping up just before 12 to the big reveal. More clues yet to come, but it ain't Dunfermline. Now, Sue Cleaver is probably best known as Coronation Street's formidable Eileen Grimshaw. But when she turned 60, she decided she wanted to find out more about herself and why she'd spent so much of her life feeling that she didn't belong. These are her words. Her new book, A Work in Progress, holds many of the answers, not just for Sue, but for other women who doubt that they are enough. Morning, Sue. How are you?
Good morning, my love. I'm well, thank you. How about you?
I'm good. I think you could have been a backing singer because I was watching you the screen when that track was playing and you were giving run, 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 run. Perfectly in time.
That was just for you.
Oh, thank
you. Your
you.
eyes only.
Yes, indeed, indeed. So listen, what was it about this birthday milestone that made you think you wanted to put pen to paper? Because it's a very reflective book. I've had the pleasure of reading it, and you know, it's part autobiographical and also, you know, imparting your kind of wisdom and learnings over the years.
Well, I think it's been, as the title says, a work in progress. I've had the idea for a long time. My life has changed so much, and I've been fascinated for a long, long time about what it is to be human. And so it was the next logical step for me. I wanted to share. I mean, I you know, a lot of people have seen the differences in me. You know, those people who've known me, you know, 30 years, 40 years, and they witnessed the changes in me, and have sort of asked me about it. And I just felt, you know, I've got a good platform, so why not use it? So it was daunting. I had to reveal a lot of things about myself. As you know, I'm quite a private person. I'm not somebody who usually courts, you know, the publicity and all that goes with fame and all of that. But I had to disclose my story to you know, to hopefully show others that no matter what our circumstances and wherever we are in life, our internal battles are pretty similar. And so, you know, if I can offer a few words that might make you, the reader, look at themselves, at life in a different way, then that would be great.
You know, we played a little clip from you earlier, also saying, though, that you're at a time in your life that perhaps having spent a lot of the years before looking after everyone else and looking after, you know, their needs, you now feel that you do have a bit more time to concentrate on yourself. And there will be a lot of women who relate to that, women in particular.
Yeah. I think I say on the book, you know, it's like I'm not past my prime and neither are you. I mean, unfortunately, we still live in a society who would like to see us, women of a certain age, just shuffle off quietly. I mean, I've got no intention of doing that. I mean, I just think it's so important that we women, our life experience is a superpower, and that we need not to be diminished. And I've decided that this decade I am going to live life fearlessly. I am not going to be held back by my self-limiting beliefs, the stories that I've told myself that are just stories. And, you know, I'm not going to let fear control any of my decisions moving forward.
What do you think that will look like in real terms then?
Do you know what? I don't know what it's going to look like, but I do know the decision started that when I got asked to do The Jungle, Celebrity Get Me Out of Here, and my immediate response was, no, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. And then I sat with it and I thought, why am I saying no to an opportunity to fly the other side of the world, see a part of the world I haven't been to, experience the jungle. Why am I saying no? Why am I so adamant I don't want to do this? And the only thing I could come up with was I was scared. And I just thought that really isn't a good enough reason to do something. So that's the approach I'm taking with everything. I mean, earlier this year, I went back on stage after an absence of over 25 years. My background and my trade was theatre. I got asked if I'd like to be Mother Superior in the tour of Sister Act. Now, I'm not a West End Wendy either. I'm not a musical star. And my response years ago would have been, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. And again, I just said, when it came through, I didn't think about it. I just said yes. I'm just saying yes. If it sparks an interest in me, I'm gonna turn that fear and that being scared into exhilaration. They're the same thing.
So not in any way suggesting you should have regrets about it, but given what you've said, when you reflect on earlier periods in your life, do you think you have turned down opportunities through fear that actually maybe you should have taken? And I don't just mean professional.
Yes, I definitely have turned down opportunities and because of fear. Do I regret that? No, because I feel that the journey I've been on has been the right journey for me. Where I am now, I feel very comfortable. I'm very comfortable in being 61. I like myself. And it's timing, isn't it? It was right for me. The time was right. And what I want this book is just to encourage people not to listen to the tired old voice inside of ourselves that keeps us under the radar. And just to embrace the unknown, because I honestly believe that it's only when we get out of our comfort zone that really interesting, fun things can happen. And I just want to encourage people to, because I've said this to you before. We live a lot of the time with anxious thoughts, with worry, anxiety. We are consumed. Our daily lives are consumed by it. And all they are stories in our head. Anxiety and worry is always based in the future. And none of us have crystal balls, and it's never going to be what you imagine. But we believe these stories we tell ourselves. We enact these stories. We might fall out with somebody at work, and then later on that day we're cooking a spag bol at home, and we're going over in our head what you're going to say to them the next day. I'm going to say this, and then they're going to say this to me, and then I'll say this back. And we create this incredible imaginary world, which is nonsense. But for some reason, we humans believe our thoughts. We take our thoughts as the truth, and they aren't. They are just our perceptions. And, we do well to realise that they aren't serving us very well. They're stopping us, reaching our true potential.
So did you have like a light bulb moment, a eureka moment then that brought you to this realisation?
No, I mean, I, as I say in the book, I had a real sense of, I think it stemmed from being adopted, real sense of not belonging, not being good enough, self-doubt. A lot of women do. And it was when I got to my 40s, some events happened, and I thought, I just need some help with this. So I went to therapy, which I found incredibly useful. And after about a year and a half therapy, my therapist actually said to me, have you ever thought about training? And by then my interest had been sparked in the human condition. So I trained as a psychotherapist. And then the journey has just progressed. I've left the therapy behind. I don't believe that therapy is necessarily, you need it, that we need it. I think that we all have our inner wisdom, and we've just lost touch with how to access it. But it was through that I met my very good friend Sari, who was a transactional analysis therapist, who gave it all up when she came across the 3 principles, which is what sparked my interest. And the 3 principles is purely a description of how thought works. It's not a prescriptive like therapy would be, or a treatment plan would be. It's just a description of how we as humans work, and that was kind of the start for me to go, oh my Lord, I've messed up the system innocently, but we all mess the system up. And I found it a great comfort, and I've come to terms with a lot of things. I've, I'm just in a good place now, and it's really helped me, and I just wanted to share it.
Well, yeah, and you do go into to that way of thinking in your book. As I say, it's a really interesting mix between being autobiographical and, you are very open in sharing some of your own life experiences, some of which have been difficult, but also getting into the sort of thinking side of things. The book comes out, work in progress, on Thursday, so in a couple of days' time. As you said earlier, you have always been a pretty private person. You've been quite happy to be Eileen Grimshaw. As long as that's fine. You can know Eileen Grimshaw. Sue Cleaver was a different thing. As it approaches, do you have any sort of, it's all going to be out there?
Well, it's this has been the build up to the launch day. I've done a lot of interviews. There's been a lot of stuff in the papers over the last few days, and a lot of podcasts, and it is quite daunting when you read. They've chosen a particular headline, and it's like, but I'm proud of the book. I think it's a book that women will relate to. I think a lot of the things I've been through, a lot of women will have been through too, or their version of. And I just, I've made mistakes in my life. I've done good things. I've done bad things. I've grown. And the wonderful thing about all of us is we have the opportunity to change. We can be whatever we want. We can wake up and be what we want and learn and grow. And it's just, we have the gift of life. It's just wonderful. And I don't look back with shame. I used to have shame around some of the things I did. I've forgiven myself a lot of things, and I've forgiven the people who've hurt me as well. I've forgiven them, and I will not live with shame. It's a useless emotion, and it's not a helpful emotion. And I'm proud of who I am and who I've become.
Well, I can't say any better than that, can I? I've got to leave the last word with you, Sue. That's perfect. So Sue Cleaver, A Work in Progress, comes out on Thursday of this week. Lovely to speak to you, Sue. Thank you.
See you soon, my love.
Bye.
We are here to put a smile on your face. Some people think we're funny, some think we're a disgrace. We don't care, we'll stay on air every single morning, 'cause listening to the other shows is just dull and boring. The Chris Moyle Show.
At 10:25, Kay Adams with you till 12 on BBC Scotland, gazing out the window. Looks like a lovely old day out there, yes, which is nice. The good weather persisting. Not such good news on the old name of the place. Only one clue, right enough, you've had. Today's place name has much in common with Dunoon and Jedburgh. Crawford Cree suggesting Dunblane. No, so here is clue number 2. It also has something in common with Bearsden and Falkirk. It also has something in common with Bearsden and Falkirk.
That he was a crook till Luke stole his little black book. It had names and numbers all in code, so Luke and Laura had to hit the road. They had to find the left-handed boy, watch their step, they had to be coy. The gold involved was worth so much, others wanted it like Sally and Hutch. But there's one thing I must confess, Sally was a man who wore a dress. Cool, Well, he ain't no fool, he set them both up cold. Well, Sally died, Hutch survived, and no one got the gold.
Paging Dr. Noah Drake to ICU to treat a case of heartbreak.
Likes to have a fun, that is why she had a son. She told Rick he was the dad, soon found out that he'd been had.
There's one thing that you can give me that Leslie can't, and that's passion.
Alan was the father, of course, and he won't give Monica a divorce. Rick wants to get Leslie back. Heather's having an insane attack.
I'll get Diana Taylor.
She's not crazy, no, never. She just wants to get Dr. Jeff Weber. Jeff wants Annie for his wife, but he might have to wait all of his life. 'Cause good girls don't, and Annie won't. And you all know what I mean. Amy Vining likes to blab. Richard Simmons helps fight Flab. Susan's having Alan's baby. No one wants Bobby for his lady. Well, Lukey got another job. The Quartermains are the brand new mob. Laura's the receptionist. What's missing now is the Ice Princess.
Yes, Luke Spencer, please.
Diamonds not gold are in it this time. Scorpio, the House of Cassadine. On and on and on it goes. How it ends up, nobody knows. 'Cause they keep me waiting. I don't mind waiting. Don't call me crazy. No, I'm not lazy. My day won't go right. I can't sleep all night. If I don't find out, it blows my mind out. I just can't cope without my soap. Tell me what's going on. Did you see it today? Tell me what's going on. Addiction, addiction, addiction.
Oh, here we go with more Epic Radio.
Telephone on BBC Radio Scotland.
Somebody just texted me the exact same thought that I had in my head, which is Michael Bublé. I can't get past him in Christmas. I hear Michael Bublé and I just think Christmas. That wasn't a Christmas song, was it? No, but it was Michael Christmas Bublé. It is 10:30. It is time to say hi to Ross Allen from Pets and Vets Glasgow, who's popped in for a little hello before the surgery at 11. Hi, Ross, how are you?
Very well, Kay. Morning.
Morning. What is Fru Gaelic for?
Oh, it's Heather, Kay. Yes, it is indeed.
Well done, well done. It actually kind of exited my mind, although I've heard it quite a lot. No, that's not what Ross is here to talk about. He will always ask you the name of your pet, that is for sure. But he's here to answer any questions at all you have about your pet's health and welfare. The lines are open now, 08085 92 95 00. You can leave a voice note on there or a WhatsApp message, but always best to have a chat and explain what's going on, or you can text 80295. So talking about explaining what's going on, tell us more about Alabama rot.
Okay,
please,
so
Ross.
Alabama rot is something that has been reported across the UK, maybe more common down south, but there's been a number of cases in Scotland over the last sort of 10, 12 years. It's not a common condition, but it's a condition that can affect dogs, especially over the autumn months and over the winter. And it can cause two main problems. The first is you can get small ulcers that develop on skin, which develop for no reason whatsoever. So there's no history of trauma, but they can get these ulcers developing. Or the other potential thing that can develop is actually acute, so sudden serious kidney disease. And what causes Alabama rot is we're familiar in human health with blood clots and the risk of strokes and things like that. And Alabama rot is caused by small clots developing in dogs' bloodstream for some reason. Still a bit unsure about that, but it's probably to do with something that dogs encounter over the autumn or the winter months. So it's
a seasonal thing.
Seasonal thing. So it's thought that it could be to do with maybe meeting certain bacteria in standing water or certain fungi that are in damp conditions over the autumn, the winter months. And it can cause these two main presentations. Dogs with small ulcers, especially over their legs or maybe over their face, or sudden onset kidney disease. So that's what is Alabama.
Right. So, I mean, what can you do to try and avoid it?
Okay. In terms of avoiding it, what I would first of all start by saying is that it's not that common. So I think in terms of being proactively avoiding it, I think it would be something to consider about whether or not it's practical for everybody, I think, to kind of take a risk-based approach to that. But what is recommended is that if your dog is frequently, playing or swimming in standing water, maybe rinsing them off afterwards, drying them would be a prudent thing to do. At the same time, there's still debate about is it standing water itself or is it the bacteria that might be in like muddy puddles rather than just in like actual open water like ponds and things like that. So I think specific advice to avoid it is difficult to give. I think maybe what I would say is that if people did notice, if listeners did notice little areas of ulceration developing and no history of trauma, it's wise to get them checked out earlier rather than later.
Okay. And given that we are coming into autumn now, anything else that we should look out for that is seasonal?
There's a few things. I think first is don't throw conkers for your dogs. All right,
okay, folks.
Probably there's somebody out there might have thought about that. Right, you don't think about it, but conkers themselves actually are poisonous to dogs. So not only causing like intestinal obstruction, but actually can poison them and cause like neurological issues and so on. So definitely avoid those kind of things. Yew trees as well are well recognised as being irritant to dogs and can also upset their tummy and cause neurological tremors and things. So wild mushrooms may be more common in the kind of damper months, perhaps. Those are the kind of seasonal, like autumnal dangers for dogs.
Right, okay, watch out for those. Okay, Ross, thank you very much indeed. I can see the text piling up already. 80295 is the text number to speak to Ross Allen, an award-winning vet from Pets and Vets Glasgow, and give him a call on 08085 592 95 00, and you can leave a voice note. Have we had a voice note yet? I do like a voice note.
I like.
Would you like a voice note?
Oh, that'd be great. If we can get a
Ross
voice
would
note
like a
today,
voice note, people, or indeed a message. That's great, Ross. Thank you very much. Listen, I'm going to sneak in. I'm going to sneak in another clue to name the place because I can feel you're struggling here. Clue number 3. It shares a component with Kirkcaldy. What's she talking about? People are saying this is for a name the place quiz. You're looking for one place in Scotland. I've got 6 clues here, devised by Professor Carol Huff, Professor of Onomastics at Glasgow University. She'll do the big reveal just before 12 o'clock, but you're going to work it out before then. So clue number 1, today's place name has much in common with Dunoon and Jedburgh. It also has something in common with Bearsden and Falkirk. And there is clue number 3. It shares a component with Kirkcaldy. Now, I don't love that song. It makes me want to rush out and grab a tambourine. It's just, I mean, I know there's not a tambourine in it. I don't think there's I'm not a musical person, but it just makes me want to bash a tambourine, which would not be good because I can't even clap in time. But anyway, it would be nice for me. I don't know what's happened to you today with Name the Place. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I'm going to say what my mother said. I'm not angry. I am disappointed. Okay? Thank you, John and Skye, who's come in with Kirkintilloch. No, it's not Kirkintilloch. I'm going to give you these 3 clues again. I might be forced to give you clue number 4 before 11 o'clock. Today's place name has much in common with Dunoon and Jedburgh. It also has something in common with Bearsden and Falkirk, and it shares a component with Kirkcaldy. There you go. There's your 3 clues. 80295 is the text number. Also, keep your questions coming in for Ross Allen, our award-winning vet. He'll be taking your calls and answering your questions after 11 this morning. The lines are open now. 08085 92 95 00. Now, after the breakthrough success of her song Good Luck Babe this summer, pop star Chapel Roan found herself properly famous, and she's admitted that it's been a struggle coming to terms with it. She has been diagnosed with severe depression, says she's in therapy twice a week, and Chapel Roan's not the first pop star to discover that fame isn't necessarily all it's cracked up to be. Lewis Capaldi, of course, has taken a step back from the spotlight this year, as has Adele. So what are the costs of fame, the ups and downs? Joining us this morning is singer and musician Sandy Tom. Morning, Sandy.
Good morning, Kay. How are you?
I'm very well indeed. Well, you had a real shoot to fame. Well, there's no such thing as an overnight success. I think we all know that. But in 2006, when you had I Wish I Was a Punk Rocker, it went to number 1. You got a real boost. How was that?
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 sides to this discussion, and I can empathise with her because it can be very overwhelming, especially if you're naturally a person who's quite shy and coy off stage. So for me, it was very surreal. The whole experience was completely surreal. It was at times very overwhelming, but also very exciting as well. So it's kind of there's 2 sides to it. For me, I just said to myself, you're going to have to just ride this train because, and you're not going to be able to get off for a while. So I can understand and empathize from where she's coming from, especially when you're younger and what it's like when you're in your early 20s, or you don't know half of what you know when you're 40, so it can be a very overwhelming experience. But it can also be a very humbling experience as well.
So what were the overwhelming bits then?
I think probably if you've never experienced any kind of judgment or criticism, or all of a sudden when you're just the girl next door, and then you become like you say, like an overnight success, you become a pop star all of a sudden, and then you become the subject of discussion. If you're not used to having been criticized or ridiculed even to some extent, or judged publicly, then I think that can be very overwhelming, because it's very easy to hurt someone's feelings, and especially a sensitive person, which a lot of musicians are, can lose a lot of self-confidence because of that. So it's something that through time and experience, you'll get used to it, or you'll learn to cope with it, or you'll learn to just not take it personally, because whenever you're going to be in the public eye, it's part of it's part of being having that life and living that privileged life, is sadly that you will be subject to, criticism and opinions and everything else. And you're going to have to learn how to deal with that. I think that young, you just don't know.
I suppose also because, so many people think that to become famous, I mean, it's set up as being the most wonderful, achievement, isn't it? That's what people want, to be famous. So is there a difficulty? And I think this has changed maybe a little bit now. I've got music journalist and broadcaster Matt Charlton with us, get his thoughts on this too. Did you feel though, Sandy, that, I'm not going to complain about it because it's what everybody wants?
Of course. I mean, if you go in with the best of intentions, and if you're a singer-songwriter like I am, and you just want to write songs and share it with the world because you want to do something good and give something back, you know, then you don't even think about the fame aspect of everything. You don't even consider that sort of comes with it, you know. If you just love to sing like Lewis Capaldi, you know, you don't think about all of this other things that come along with it. But you know, you don't have to play the fame game. And I think that's the thing that I realized when I had my son, who's neurodivergent. I deliberately took myself out of the public eye because I didn't want to live that. I didn't want to experience that publicly. So you don't have to play the fame game. You know, you can withdraw yourself. You can still make music, but you can just be a little bit more quiet about it, you know? So I think what she's saying is she's considering her options because perhaps really she got into it to just be a musician, and maybe she doesn't want all of the rest of it that comes along with it. Yeah. So, you know, you can still be true to the art. You can still make the music, but you don't have to be out there publicly all the time. You don't have to post on social media 5 times a day. So you just have to be very careful.
You said the social media word there, or 2 words. Matt, is that... And morning to you, Matt.
Morning.
We've also got Emma Kenny, psychologist, with us. Morning to you, Emma.
Good morning.
Good morning. You know, Sandy, when I Wish I Was a Punk Rocker was that was 2006 when that went to #1. Social media was not the beast that it is now, Matt. So I guess that's one big difference. I don't know your thoughts on how that has changed the fame game, but also perhaps that people in general, and not just people in the entertainment business, might be more ready to talk about mental health in a way that maybe 20 years ago people were reluctant to, particularly when you had this prize of fame, which everyone else wants, that you would think, well, you know, I can't talk about the negativity because everyone thinks I'm the luckiest person in the world.
Yeah, I think those 2 points are true. But the thing is, with anything creative, the natural offshoot of being successful in those creative fields is that you're going to be famous. I mean, that's just what happens as a natural thing. And people talk about it like it's a Faustian pact. But the thing is, any measure of success in the creative field is that you're well known. With social media, then that's really been since 2012-ish, I guess. And you're one step away as an artist from your fans now. You don't have the print media, which is, you know, bad for my job, but you don't have the print media in the middle, being the middleman, for better or worse, because then you can sort of issue statements like Chappelle Roan has and said, you know, I don't like this, I don't want to do it. But also you've got that direct line with these trolls and these people telling you what you should do. So it's the double-edged sword, really, with that. And when it comes to the mental health side of things, I think the first person that really spoke about that way back was actually Robbie Williams. He put it in his music. He spoke about it a lot. He was speaking about it on social media today, actually, that he's had a bad weekend with it. And I think that opened up the door for a lot of people. But I think Britney Spears is probably the first time we really saw it in the modern era, anyway, go very bad, and so we followed her journey through that.
Sandy, in terms of social media, are you kind of glad that your timing was what it was? Do you think it would have made a difference or not?
Well, I came around at the advent of I came out in 2006 was the MySpace era. So everything was just beginning then. So I kind of experienced like both the print media aspect of it and the social media aspect of it at its very earliest stage. You know, but I think nowadays, having been around for 20 or so years now, I just don't take any of it on. If somebody sends me something on social media that's, you know, abusive or insulting, I just block people and forget about it. I don't even engage in any type of discussion like that because I think that's the healthiest way to be. You know, I just wouldn't even put myself in that situation. So yes, you're still going to be met with those types of, you know, those types of messages, that type of, like I said earlier, criticism and perhaps sometimes even ridicule, because there's so many people out, like you say, it's so easy to say something. There's so many people out there with their own mental health problems that they're dealing with. So you just have to just remove it from your life, you know. And with her, you know, I think maybe just don't take any of it on board. And then the other side of this, which is the positive side of it all, is like you're always going to have super fans, no matter who you are. They're going to be an army of people out there who love you so much that they will do anything for you. And actually, if you learn to harness that, it can actually be it can be to your advantage, So there's people that have been fans of mine that have followed my journey since day one. And yes, they'd show up at every gig. And yes, maybe sometimes you'd think, wow, that's a dedicated person right there. But actually, you can harness their dedication and their loyalty to help you to further your career in a way. So there's two sides to this. It's just finding the balance, I think.
Emma, to bring you in here, I mean, as Sandy is talking about it, Sandy clearly has a lot of agency over the way that she handles, her career, social media, etc., and, a level of control. There will be some people who don't feel that they have that control, and in any sphere of life, that can be a difficult thing.
Everybody's got a temperament. We're born with a temperament. We can manipulate it to some degree, but there are people who genuinely have resilient DNA, and there are people who have really sensitive DNA, and therefore, if you have the sensitive disposition, then the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, as people write horrible things about you on social media, you'll feel more. But what's being said is absolutely correct. Forging resilience and finding ways to deal with that, if you're going to stay in the public eye, is absolutely imperative. It's essential to survive it. I think what has changed is what you're talking about. It's social media. On one level, it's brilliant. You have a direct line, as has been noted with your audience. You can tell the truth about your life when other people are lying, because let's be clear, print media make things up about certain individuals and you want a voice back. Equally, it gives a direct line to people who are very nasty to you, and that could be deeply disconcerting and upsetting. And it means that fame is different now. Fame used to be something that, as is being described here, took lots of talent and work and rejection and pain. And that's what happens in a general traditional experience of growing up through celebrity and becoming a media sensation. It took the papers behind you. It took people listening to your art or watching you on TV or following you in your books. Now you can release something. You can be an absolute nobody 1 minute, and you can be an everybody the next minute. Now, that is a completely new beast. So as opposed to people forging that resilience from rejection and pain and all the things that come with that, the humiliation of not making it at certain points in your life, young people don't necessarily go on that journey. And that means you haven't got the small amount of armour that somebody like yourself, Kate, who has gone through all of that process and has had to fight others to get to where you are and has had to deal with negative impacts of press. That's something that's actually quite helpful over the years because it gives you a skin. That doesn't happen to so many people these days.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. I mean, Matt, Chapel Roan, I don't know if it's Chapel or Chappelle. I've heard it pronounced in various ways. I
have no idea either, don't worry.
Okay, well, no disrespect. I hope I'm getting it right in Chapel. But what sort of, she's 26, I think. I mean, what kind of support and guidance and, help do young people in her situation who've achieved this fantastic goal, but by her talent, but as Emma says, life turned right upside down and open to all sorts of potentially negative forces. Are they supported, or is it just sink or swim?
It's really the luck of the draw, because you can only hope that she's surrounded by A, good friends that she's known for a long, long time, and B, a good team as well. And that's A&R, that's manager, that's agent, that's everything. But sometimes that machine, once you're into it, they do treat you like a product as opposed to an individual with thoughts and feelings. And even, I think it was yesterday, the Daily Mail reacted to this quite touching and quite hard-hitting story from her saying, I've got depression and all this sort of stuff. The Daily Mail, Chappell Roan's biggest moans was their story yesterday, which just shows how the media still react to this sort of thing and belittle it, even though it's a genuine concern. And we were talking about Lewis Capaldi earlier. He's withdrawn from public life because he was suffering panic attacks, and it's still belittled, and it's really sad. But he was encouraged and he was supported by his team to step back, and that's a really healthy thing as well. And you can only hope that people in the public eye now, especially the ones coming up and with this sudden fame, are supported. But it's really the luck of the draw.
Sandy, if you were to pass on a bit of advice then to those maybe 20 years younger than you?
I think, it's a really good point that you just made, though. I remember just one small example of that where I was on the front page of The Guardian and they'd called me the Antichrist of music, which is probably the worst possible thing you can say to a musician because I was being a poster child of this digital revolution. And my manager at the time was ecstatic that we had gotten this huge piece of press. Like, you can't buy press like this, Miss Tom. It's the front page of The Guardian. So there's an example of me obviously feeling like, wow, that's really insulting. But at the same time, my team celebrating the fact that we had got this huge piece on the front page. So I think really, I think at the end of the day, we're all after... the things that we hold in high regard are the same, irrespective of whether you're famous or not. We all want inner peace and to be happy in life. I don't think you should sacrifice that necessarily for the sake of being famous. So if you feel that it's not something that you can cope with, then do take a step back and don't put yourself through that. But do also learn how to, manage those things and create coping mechanisms to help you through that. Because I've had my fair share of mental health problems throughout my life. I've had chronic anxiety in my 20s. I've had depression. I've had PTSD and all sorts of things as well. And like you say, it's not such a taboo subject anymore. Absolutely fall back on your family and your closest friends, and also pick the people that you keep close very carefully as well. It's like we've talked about, that you can be dropped like a commodity very quickly. So,
Well, listen, Sandy, thank you very much for spending time with us. Really do appreciate it. That's Sandy Tom there. Someone who knows what it is like to be catapulted into fame. Thanks also to Matt Charlton and to Emma Kenny.
Take a look in my eyes, tell me what you see. You see a nigga who dropped the CD. Yeah, I got a deal now. I still gotta keep it real now. It's like, damn, Flip, how I feel now. They have platinum records just like your grill now. It feel good cause I work. It feel good, my nigga, and that's why I got my nigga logo on my shirt. I'm proud. I did what I did. We're loud. They signed a tight kid. I made it. These niggas can't fade it. They hate it. Magazines wanna rate it. But MTV play my shit every day. BET play my shit every day. BET play your shit every May. So who's the nigga for getting paid? Me. Underground, I rule that. Rookies, I school that. Boy, see Flip, they start to drool. Cause I'm a goddamn fool. And if you don't know, now you know. Cause I'm a motherfucker pimp, you the whore, I'm the leader, you the follower. You ain't this shit. If this shit don't go gold or platinum, it ain't a hit. 30,000, what the fuck are you saying? Are you playing? I'm a little Flip, I'm a goddamn man. I stand up for my rights, my weed is what I like. Every time I spit a freestyle, you know that shit tight. I ain't had to write cause I was born like this. In the clique, I was sworn like this. Now I'm the leader. I'm the general. I drink Ozark water for my minerals. Wake up, roll a blunt, get on the phone. I'm doing real estate, buy you a home, buy you some land. Don't worry about a motherfucker chain and the ice on the van. 20s on the truck, you can't stay in that car. All you could do is play in that car. If you get jacked, you might lay in that car. Then the police see them, nigga, they in that car. But be smart, nigga, be street smart. Don't go to jail and come out a sweetheart. If you straight, stay straight. If you got love, then watch out for the hate. I did $1 million out the gate. What about you? I represent for my screw. Peace, man. Cause he showed me love. We had drink and he pulled me mud. We used to go to the club. He used to DJ. I would freestyle fast like I'm at a relay. I'm on my beat tape. Cause he made me one. Yeah, I did a show and he paid me 1G. It was cool. I was just a young nigga still going to school. Yeah, I had them Jordans every time they came out. I was a baller, so I didn't really hang out. I used to skip class to get ass. Sometimes me and we went to Six Flags. Come to the gallery and leave with big bags. Of Philly blunts, I used to smoke zigzags. Now I smoke golden wraps. I went platinum, but I spit golden raps, you feel me? These niggas don't know who the king, who the pro. Cut off the lights and I glow. Get her, boy, take her straight to the mode. Cause if she ain't a dime, she can't come through my door. Can't come to my house. You feel me? That's the truth, my nigga. Then check the billboard. That's the proof, my nigga. And it's going bling bling. That's the tooth, my nigga. You play with me and I'ma shoot, my nigga.
Okay.
I'm in the coupe, speed, racing. Clouds get behind me. I'm purple hazing, blowing while it's snowing. You know I'm flowing. I'm sipping drink, I got my codeine open. Pull it up, the weed, I grow it up. You don't pay me my money, I ain't showing up. You thought I was a punk, nah, I ain't no punk. I got a pump that'll put you in the trunk. I fuck with my nigga Red. I used to fuck off because they real silly, but now I gotta stay back. This is the payback. 23 inches on the Maybach. Big Cadillac, as a matter of fact. I had to adapt to my neighborhood ghetto habitat, and I'm not having it. You ain't go fuck me. It's my stuff, but you ain't go touch me. You hating over when I made it. I'm just like some brand new jeans, you can't fade it. I'm the greatest. Motherfucker with the mic, got a 4 and a Sprite, and I might get higher. Bug got that fire. I need 8 million when I'm gonna retire. Yep, I'm on fire. He's on fire. I'm on fire. I blaze the ash like Beanie Siegel say. It's the truth. Sucker free. You know? Big up for unlimited freestyles, man. You know what the hell I'm saying? This what I'm telling y'all. If you ain't sucker free, don't fluff with me. Cause I know you got your eyes on my luxury. If you ain't sucker free, don't fluff with me. Cause I know you got your eyes on my luxury. And it's a fact. All you hating didn't want me to make it. I thought I told you. We don't fake it. Yes. We don't fake it. We don't fake it.
Name the place is happening now. Martin from Forest says Dumbarton. John in Paisley is going for Langham. He's on holiday in Loch Melfort in Argyll. It's sunny. Thanks for that, John. Let me rattle through them. Morag is going from Burnham. Kirkcudbright says Squiz near Tain. Camlin says Margaret in Edinburgh. Newton Stewart says Frank in Edinburgh. They're wrong. You can strike them off your list. Another clue after the news.
On digital radio,
FM,
your smart speaker,
and on BBC Sounds.
BBC Radio Scotland.
Some of my other answers or guesses that have come in, I really interesting. 5 double below. You can speak.
It's a new era.
voice message or indeed a WhatsApp message. And you can text 80295, standard messaging rates apply. And actually, spoiler alert, this is what Antarctica sounds like. I'm in Antarctica recording the sounds and creating music. Really interesting piece. Christine got it dead on, didn't she?
I had to choose between cleaning and doing a crossword. It would have to be the crossword every time.
What would you choose? And why do some people feel judged for hiring a cleaner?
BBC Radio Scotland.
Me, Connie McLaughlin. Hi, me, Zarjan Jua.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Well, there's where we are with Name the Place. I thought I was just going to give you clue number 4 there very confidently. Who sneaked in a correct? Margaret in Edinburgh. Well done, just before 11 o'clock. Well done to you, Margaret.